All right.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Daddy DFS channel. We are going to be going through the baseball picks for June 1st, 2024. I'm joined with our captain here, Captain DFS. This is our first live stream of going through baseball. We have a history of doing some degenerate bets, and we both hate our daytime jobs. We're both in the healthcare industry, and we're trying to make some side money so we can quit our jobs and take care of our children. We want our children to be proud of us and our betting. So we got to make money for the college funds. So today we're going to go through each game. We're going to say who we think who's going to win. Maybe throw out a potential parlay at the end. I'll throw in some price picks slash underdog picks that we might be looking at here as we go through today's slate. We've got 15 games today, so we will waste no time. We'll go through the first game. We've got Pittsburgh taking on Toronto. Don't have the money line for this one right now, but we've got Mitch Keller going up against Kikuchi. Pittsburgh, we've got Frank over there wearing the captain hat. I have a feeling he may be picking Pittsburgh today. Not entirely sure. We'll find out here shortly. But I am a big proponent of Toronto's offense. Toronto's sitting at 27 and 29, and I just don't think that they've hit their full stride here yet. I am going against the Pirate here today, and I'm going to pick Toronto. I would say I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this one. Probably not one I'm going to put on my parlay, but I'm going to lean Toronto here. Nobody really sticks out. Mitch Keller is a pretty solid pitcher, so I'm not going to pick anybody to hit a home run. I'm not going to pick any props or anything on here. So I'm just going to straight up go with Toronto at a home matchup here with Kikuchi, who sucked last season but is pitching a lot better this season. But yeah, Captain, what are you thinking on this one here? Is anything sticking out for you? Who you got?
Well, right now I'm thinking about picking Pittsburgh's because I'm just leaning Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't take that as a bet.
You got to bet on something. You got to
'Cause
bet on something.
well, I'm leaning Pittsburgh today
Okay, okay.
because the Blue Jays, they haven't been batting really well. Yesterday, um Bichetti and Guerrero didn't do really well. They went 0 and 5, so their batting is kind of in a rut right now, so I'm picking Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is betting pretty well lately.
All right, so we've got a little division here on the first game. I'm taking Toronto, and the captain is taking Pittsburgh. Neither one of us feel entirely confident, so probably not one you want to put on your parlays again. All right, moving on to game number two. We've got Tampa Bay versus Baltimore. Looks like we got two solid pitchers here. We got the wind blowing 6 miles per hour, maybe a slightly higher chance of home runs in this game. In terms of a pick, looks like Baltimore is a favorite at minus 166. Baltimore's offense has been going crazy. They hit a lot of home runs. Gunnar Henderson, last I checked, was first or second in the league in home runs. I always think that he's a solid pick for to hit a home run on any given day. Um, Statistically speaking here, I don't really want to again put either one of these games in a parlay, and we'll get to some games that we would put in a parlay here shortly. Honestly, here though, I would probably lean towards Baltimore. I'd probably lean towards the under in terms of overall runs scored. It's set at 7.5. If I had to pick somebody to hit a home run, I'd probably go here with Gunnar Henderson for a home run pick, but not entirely sure that that is something that, again, I would bet. But going Baltimore here, who do you got, Captain?
Um, Today I'm gonna pick Oreos facing Tampa Bay. I'm gonna pick Oreos. I'm gonna add them to my parlay today because they're batting pretty well right now. They're top two team in the league of batting right now, and the Rays have been very bad against right-handed pitching.
Oh, wow. Okay. I see someone did his research on this one, so all right. And I already forgot. Who did you pick again?
Baltimore. I'm gonna put them in my
Baltimore. All right.
parlay,
Well, we
but
got one that we were both picking the same one, so Baltimore. Take that as you may if you want to put that into a parlay. But all right. Well, let's see if we can get into some more less even matchups here, and I think we may find our first game here where we may be able to make some money. We've got Detroit against Boston. We've got Detroit sitting at a favorite. I don't know about that against Baltimore, or sorry, against the Red Sox here. We do have the Red Sox starting lineup, and nothing too crazy in the lineup. Red Sox don't really, they haven't been too consistent. They're sitting at 500. Tigers are as well. Tigers pitcher is a 1.92 ERA. This one, the wind's blowing in. I definitely like the under on runs here. In terms of a pick, I think I'm going to lean I'm going to lean Boston here. Boston, oh wow, they are sitting with 5 consecutive left-handed hitters, and I'm just going to do a little research here. I'm wondering if this was a strategy because Reese Olson is not good against lefties. Let's take a look here. There may find some information here. So he is in 2024 against left-handed hitters is allowing a 139 batting average. Wow. Well, you know what? I think I may change my pick here. I think the Red Sox were lacking in their research, and they're doing 5 consecutive left-handed hitters here against Reese Olson. Very interesting. And not only do they have 5 left-handed hitters, they have 7 of their 9 batters are left-handed hitters here. So again, I'd probably take the under, and I'm going to make a mid change here, and I'm going to go ahead and swap over to Detroit out of nowhere. Didn't really see that one coming, but I'm going Detroit in this one. Minus 115. I can kind of see now why maybe they got that line. Who do you have?
In this matchup, it's pretty even, but um, leaning towards Detroit Tigers today. Reese Olson has been pitching pretty good, but also Chris Well has been pitching real well this year, except last game against the Baltimore. Um, he gave up 7 home runs, 7 hits, 7 runs.
It's a
So
big
other than
difference
that
there.
game,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. Other than
Uh,
that game, he's pitching pretty well. But I'm leaning toward Detroit Tigers today. But I would not put this on my parlay.
we
It's a
have
toss up.
3 games so far, and none of the games are going on the parlay. We will get there, I promise you. If we don't, that's okay too. All right, next game we have Washington versus Cleveland. We have Cleveland as a minus 155 favorite. Lefty versus righty matchup here. Again, 2 solid pitchers in this matchup. Wind blowing out 7 miles per hour. It might give us a small chance of an extra home run in this one. And I'm going full Guardians here. When you look at it, you've got Washington sitting at 26 and 30, and the Guardians with one of the best records in the league. Ben Lively's been very good this year, 4.2 with a 2.8 ERA. I'm going to lean Cleveland. No props really stick out here. If we want to look and see, let's see if Mitchell Parker has any stats here against this Cleveland lineup. See if we can pick out somebody who potentially could be set for a good game. And looks like he's never faced this lineup, so really nothing going to stick out here in terms of a pick for a particular player. If we're looking at home runs, if I had to pick somebody in this one to hit a home run, I always like to pick Jose Ramirez. If you look at the underdog picks, he's always at like a 3.5x multiplier, and the dude can hit a home run against anybody, and with the wind blowing out a little bit more. If I had to pick I'd pick Jose Ramirez for a home run today. Outside of that, I would probably, again, I'm leaning Cleveland in this one, and I would actually be okay with parlay in this one. Who do you got, Captain?
Today I have actually the Guardians also, but there's some regression concerns with Ben Lively. Mitchell Parker has been pitching very well right now. He's faced a lot of tough lineups so far in his first year. First, when he was first up to pitching, he faced the Dodgers and Houston, which he won. So he's doing pretty well this year. So I'm leaning towards Guardians, but I would not parlay this one.
All right, yet another no parlay here from the captain. He did not wake up feeling very frisky this morning. Let's hope he changes his mind here shortly.
I have
All
a
right.
couple. I have a couple teams in mind for parlaying, but right now this one, I lean the Guardians because they're the one of the top teams in the league right now. But Ben Lively has some regression concerns, and Mitchell Parker has been pitching pretty well.
All right. Well, there you have it. So moving on to the next game with San Diego versus Kansas City. San Diego sitting at a minus 122 favorite on the road. Kansas City is rolling out Alec Marsh, who's sitting at a 4.2 with a 3.24 ERA. Musgrove is not having a good season. He's got a 5.66 ERA. Looking at this one, doesn't look like we'll have any weather implications, so we're sitting at a neutral plane there. In terms of a pick here, I'm not really buying Kansas City this season. Their lineup is atrocious outside of maybe Bobby Witt, and they are home run and Salvador Perez. They are a home run heavy team, not a high batting average hitting team here. The Padres got the more the better lineup with the more gunfire here. They got the top of the order with Luis Ariz, who can get on base. You got Tatis with the power. Profar's been playing really good this year. And you've got Machado there. Machado's not going up against a lefty today. He typically is a left-handed hitting power machine. This one, again, pretty hard. You've got Musgrove sitting here with a 5.66 ERA. Marsh is respectable 3.2, more than respectable 3.24 ERA. Again, this is one that I'm not going to be that confident in. I think with San Diego sitting at minus 122, not a good bet here overall because you're going to have not the greatest money line on the pitcher who is at a pretty significantly higher ERA, and you've got San Diego with the better offense against a better pitcher. I can see why the money line is close. Honestly, I want nothing to do with this game. I'm not making any bets here. I see what your take is on this 3:10 start time game here, Frank or Captain.
Um,
Sorry.
this game is also very close. Cleveland, sorry, not Cleveland. Kansas City hasn't been batting as well lately. Musgrove has a high ERA. Um, but if I were to make a bet, I would probably bet Kansas City Royals because they're positive plus money right now, and that's where the value is lying. But I would not. I would stay away from this game.
All right. Good take there. So moving on, we've got Chicago White Sox up against Milwaukee. We got Milwaukee favored at minus 155. We got left-hander Crochet going up against Robert Gasser. Milwaukee's been on quite the roll. They came back to win yesterday's game. And yeah, no one predicted Milwaukee to be a good team this year, and yet again they outperformed projections, and they're having a good year, leading the NL Central. Um, I just absolutely cannot pick White Sox in any game. They are so bad. If you watch their home games, they have maybe 10 to 20 people that show up to every home game. I'm just kidding, but that's really bad. You have Paul DeYoung batting cleanup. He is definitely not a cleanup hitter. We've got a lefty-lefty matchup. We're in a dome stadium, so wind won't be a factor. I'm going Milwaukee here minus 155, and I am completely confident in parlaying it here. I do think that they are a solid pick for any parlay. No particular player stands out. I am curious. I'm gonna look and see what if Crochet. I doubt he's ever faced anybody from this Milwaukee lineup. This is an interleague. Yeah, he has not an interleague matchup. So nobody I'm gonna really pick here. I would say Christian Yelich. I'm gonna pull up his lefty-righty split seat. He is a left-handed hitter. Against the lefties this season, he is batting 355. He has 3 home runs and 36 at bats. So I think Yelich here would be a solid. If you wanted to pick somebody to hit a home run, I think he's a solid pick. Um, to if you want somebody to have as just a home run pick for this game. Who do you got?
I also have the Brewers today. Crochet is a pretty good pitcher, but the Brewers are just crushing lefties right now, and the White Sox just frankly just suck right now. Gasher's also a pretty good pitcher, and Brewers are bats are just hitting really well right now. I would actually put them in my parlay, either money line or I would be happy to take the minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. All right. Well, there we go. We got our first real parlay pick here of the day for looking at Milwaukee. Moving on, we got 9 games left. Oakland versus Atlanta. There is a rain chance in this one. We've got Aaron Brooks up against Chris Sale, and oh my goodness, Chris Sale's 8-1 with a 2.12 ERA this season, having himself quite the rejuvenation going up against a terrible Oakland team. I'm not sure how they're 20, even 23 and 36. A bunch of no-namers from top to bottom. The only guy I'm seeing there, Zach Geloff, a very solid player. Decent coming on his own. JD Davis, really nowhere near what he used to be. Brent Rooker's probably their best overall player, home run potential. But going against the powerhouse lineup of Atlanta, even though they do not have Ronald Acuna in there, they are so deep. Bottom half of that lineup is not the greatest, but yeah, there's no way. Atlanta's a minus 310. I can't parlay that. That's not going to give me enough juice with that. So looking here, I am curious. Aaron Brooks has battered around. Let's see how he has done against this Atlanta lineup. Again, another game where none of these players have faced against Aaron Brooks. This is actually kind of wild. So yeah, honestly, I'd pick Atlanta straight up. I don't know if I'd parlay it, just because we got that rain potential, could lower our parlay potential, and really nothing standing out here. I do think Chris Sale. You can look at some of Chris Sale's props. I think Chris Sale would be a good pick if you want to get a straight up bet. Probably would go with. I'm pretty confident he'd get the win today, get up there to 9-1. I'd probably take the over on the strikeouts, but outside of that, I think I got Atlanta in this one. What about you?
I also had would take Atlanta money line straight up, no parlays today. Because Atlanta lost their one of their best hitters for the year in Acuna, but I think they still have enough juice in their bats to take out Oakland today.
All right, moving on to Minnesota, Houston. We've got Houston at a minus 130 favorite. We got Joe Ryan going up against Framber Valdez. This one here, Minnesota's been having a pretty solid year, 32 and 25, and Houston is not doing as good as they used to do. I do think they will turn it around. They do have a pretty stacked lineup, at least through the first half of the lineup. Um, Joe Ryan's a very solid pitcher, though. Framber Valdez is pretty good in his own right, but not really much sticking out here. Pretty even matchup. I would probably lean. I'd probably take the underdog here in Minnesota, even though they don't have the better lineup. I do think they have the better pitcher, and in a close matchup, I wouldn't mind picking the underdog. I definitely would not put this on a parlay.
I'm gonna lean towards the Twins also. And Joe Ryan, he's a pretty good pitcher. But Valdez has just been very inconsistent this year. But I would stay away from this game because Houston Astros, their team batting, they just have really good batters in there.
All right. Moving on to Arizona and the New York Mets. I think there is a lot of potential here. We've got Slade Kakani, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, sitting at 1-4 for 6.12 ERA against Seth Manaea, 3-1 with a 3.16 ERA. Wind is blowing slightly out in this one, and for some reason, the Mets are only a minus 135 favorite here. I'm smashing that in a parlay. I'm picking the over on the run total, and I am also going to pick Pete Alonso to hit a home run today. So the Mets are my most confident pick. I think that line is vastly off, and I'm going full Mets here. Typically don't like them, but this really money line doesn't make much sense to me with this pitcher and with a clear pitching advantage today for the Mets. I'd say very similar lineups. Corbin Carroll's not having the year he had in the past in his rookie season. Christian Walker's still very solid, but they got a lot of swing and miss on this team. And with a lefty matchup, we could take a look again. Probably another lineup that has not faced Seth Manaea much in the past. We do have some stats here we can look at. So Ketel Marte has had a pretty good line sitting at a 320 average. Um, Outside of that, Randall Gruchik um, has had a pretty good, a lot of numbers here, 19 at bats. So still though, I'm leaning Mets. Actually, I'm strongly leaning Mets. I'm picking Pete Alonso, and I'm parlaying this game all day. What about you?
Um, Actually, for this game, I'm just leaning towards the over because um Saucony and Medea, they just I don't think they're really good pitchers. And I don't want to pick either team because Diamondbacks battings have been okay this year. But yeah, I'm leaning towards the under. I mean, sorry, the over.
The over. All right.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd also lean towards the over there. I Seth Mania, I would say not the most consistent, but I would still go strongly for the Mets. A little bit of differences there, but overall we do think that is a good game to target. Moving on, 6 games remaining. We got Texas versus Miami. Pretty even matchup here. Lorenzen versus Weathers. Again in a dome stadium. Righty versus lefty matchup. Texas, clearly the overall better team here. Corey Seager's been on fire of late. He had a stretch where he had 7 or 8 consecutive home runs. Will, since he is a lefty, he's going up against a lefty. I am curious on his lefty splits here, so let me take a look if it will load. Okay. Lefty matchups for Corey Seager on the season. He is sitting at oh wow. 197 batting average. All right, and so yeah, no, definitely would not touch that. In terms of overall picks, nothing here again is standing out here for me. Um, I would probably, if I had to pick anything, I might go with De La Cruz for a home run pick, just as a shot in the dart, just to get some action in on this game. But not a whole lot sticking out. Not anything I would probably bet straight up. I don't have a money line on this game. I would imagine Texas is going to be like a minus 160, 170 favorite. If you want to pick them in a parlay, I could see it. But outside of that, there's nothing I personally would pick here. What about you?
I just have some slight differences against Dr. DFS on this game. I actually would parlay the Marlins here because Ryan Weathers last couple games, he's been pitching very well. And the Texans are just struggling right now. They're kind of in a rut. They should get better during the season, but I don't think it'll get better during this game.
All right, a little difference there. He's got Miami. I've got Texas with that one. So moving on, we've got the Los Angeles Angels against the Seattle Mariners. We've got Detmers, left-handed pitcher, going up against Bryce Miller, sitting at a minus 162 favorite for Seattle. The over/under on this game is 7 runs. This one, I am going the Marlins all day. I do think that they have the better pitcher and the better lineup. Um, One that I am an American League matchup. I am curious Detmers against stats here against the Seattle Mariners lineup. Looking here, we've got J.P. Crawford batting 400 again, 15 at bats, no home runs. And then through the middle of this lineup, looks like everybody has a home run against Detmers here. So really, I do like the Julio Rodriguez home run pick for this one. I think he's starting to find his power stride here lately. He's been getting some home runs. He started off really weak, so I would consider Jose Rodriguez if you're wanting a home run pick, and I would pick the Mariners here at a minus 162. I wouldn't mind parlaying them as well. I think this is a solid matchup for them to win. What about you?
I also have the Seattle Mariners here. Reed Detmers has just been inconsistent lately. Um, Seattle's just been a better team this year. I would be okay with parlaying them.
All right, so pretty similar take there on that game. Moving on, we have Cincinnati against Chicago. We got Hunter Green against Justin Still. Justin Still has not had the season he had last year, but he's starting to come into his own, I believe. I am curious though. Let me look at his stats real quick and what he's done in his last few games here. So pulling it up. Let's see. In his last start, he had 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. Previous start, 6.1 innings, 5 strikeouts. He did give his the stretch here where he gave up looks like around 16 runs in 3 games. He that's against Atlanta, and then 2 against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not a good team. That's a little concerning here. So not the pitcher he was last season. So even with that last start, 7 innings pitch, 8 strikeouts, it's really hard to tell if he's hitting his stride. I want to say yes, just because last season he was just so good, and the season before that he was so good. So again, probably one I wouldn't parlay just because he is somebody that has been rather inconsistent. The other thing to keep in mind, we have a 69% chance of rain in this game. This could be one where these pitchers might not make it the whole game if we have any interruptions in play, which makes it really hard for me to pick anybody. We have Chicago at a minus 135 favorite, so pretty much a coin flip. I can't parlay this one, but I couldn't fault you if you wanted to pick Chicago. But this central matchup, these are two pretty close offenses, two pretty close pitching staffs. Again, one I'd probably sit out, but I am seeing some potential here in these last 3 games where I would make some bets, but not in this one with all those factors. What about you?
Um, I would also stay away from this game, but if I were to make a bet, I would go for the under 7.5. Steele's actually just coming back from an injury, so um, he's been doing all right, but Hunter Green's been very good pitcher, so that's why I would go with the under. I wouldn't pick a specific side because it's a toss up though.
Yeah, I could definitely see that with these two pitchers who are been pretty solid this year. All right. We got three games remaining. We got St. Louis against Philly, Sonny Gray going against Ranger Suarez. We got a minus 155 favorite for Philadelphia, sitting at over under of 7 runs. This one, we've got the Cardinals who have been playing a lot better here as of late. Sonny Gray having a solid season. Ranger Suarez, as good as Sonny Gray has been, this guy's been unbelievable. 9-1 with a 1.75 ERA. Weather won't be much of a factor here. Looks like the wind's just blowing left to right. Not supposed to rain. Um, Pretty hard for me, but I just have a feeling the Cardinals are going to shit the bag today. They are not usually typically good against these really good pitchers, and they typically, I just don't see them showing up here. I am going to go against them, even though Sonny Gray has been good. I think what the main pick here would be the under. I think two solid pitchers. A lot of strikeout potential on both sides. So I don't like the over on strikeouts for both sides, to be honest. Kyle Schwarber just likes to swing and miss at everything. And there's a lot of, again, Castellanos, Cardinals side of things. You've got a lot of strikeouts that occur on both sides. So I would lean the under. I'd take the over on the strikeouts for both pitchers, and I would pick Philly in this one. Don't mind it in a parlay. What about you?
I would also pick the under today because Sonny Gray is really good right now this year, but his control's been slightly off in the last couple games. And Ranger Suarez is also very good, except the last game, he gave up a couple hits.
All right. 2 games left here. We got the Yankees versus the Giants. You want to get us started off here, the captain? What do you got in this one?
Um, in the Yankees versus Giants game, Logan Webb's been pretty pitching pretty well. He's been pitching better at home. Control's been there, no home runs in the last couple of games. But I would take either New York plus 1.5 or Giants money line.
All right, yeah, this game is very interesting. We got the Yankees against the Giants. Yankees, clear better record, and then we got the Giants sitting at a 500 record. The one thing that sticks out that is really popping off the page is the ball is the wind is going 16 miles per hour at the Bay. Both pitchers are very solid though. So that's not really. It's really hard to predict a particular one. I do think that Aaron Judge is always a good pick to hit a home run, but I do think it's always juiced to him over on the home run potential. So to be honest with you, this is something where I would probably lean towards the under, but I wouldn't mind tossing a home run pick out there for one of these guys here. So our last matchup, we have Colorado versus the Dodgers. We got Chad Control versus Yamamoto. At the Dodgers are favored as a minus 310. I don't mind parlaying them. I don't mind the over on strikeouts for Yamamoto. I'm going all in Dodgers here. And I do think this is one you can parlay. I always like Otani to hit a home run. I do think this is a decent matchup for him to hit one. So I would lean towards Otani home run. And I'd definitely go the over on strikeouts for Yamamoto. What about you?